with this Cardi B and Akbar situation, they were going back and forth. Nicki Minaj subtly chimes into the conversation and she says something like, one, she says, the first thing she said, I'm trying to remember what Nikki said. Oh, she said, "You still ugly." She said, "You still ugly." That was one thing. Another thing she did was post a emoji of a person writing, meaning write a rap, because Akbar says to Cardi, "I'm gonna do something that you never do, which is write a rap." So Cardi said, "Okay, I'm gonna do something you never do, which is pick your kids up from school, or whatever, or pick my kids up from school." So after that,
That was funny to me.
it was hilarious. And then Akbar V started talking about Offset and how Lil Baby had him scared or whatever. So Nicki Minaj posted Lil Baby and then put heart emojis, right? So it's clear it's day that Nicki was subtly, subliminally adding herself in on the beat. So what Kyle here did over there on the Neighborhood Talk, the
Smart.
CEO, he reposted it. I mean, he gonna get hits. He gonna get his coin, whatever. He reposted some tweets, and I don't think he really said a lot under the comment. I think he just said Nicki Minaj with some tweets or whatever. So it looks like she was jumping into the mix with the ladies, and so Nicki Minaj went flat off on him, called him out, talked about how she's helped him and stuff, how she's looked out for him when he got fired, and how he caping for people that he got fired for, and just doing all this big talk, and it really was given to me. You did all of this to later on throw it up in his face, but it really was given. You did all of this to have some type of alliance or have somebody that was going to only post positive things about you. Because let's be honest, watching the Neighborhood Talk, you're talking about an overall stand of Nikki. Nikki could fart and they'll post the mist on the page and be like, "Look at the air.
Bitch, you is
This
not
is this
lying.
is this
You
is
is not
the cloud of smoke
lying.
that just came out of Nikki's
She
ass. Like
always
this
breaking
is
some record.
yes."
Every time you turn around, Nicki Minaj breaks record. Nicki Minaj breaks record. I be like, bitch, how many times y'all gonna tell us she broke this record?
All the
Yeah,
periodical
that
for
is
the
true.
time. So he was
Hmm.
extremely biased when it came to her. He even put a post out and admitted that he was doing the same thing over on the Shade Room and pretty much got in trouble for posting her so much. So my question to you ladies is, do you feel like Nikki was wrong for or do you think he was wrong for insinuating that Nikki had anything to do with this argument, trying to add herself into the argument? Or do you think Nikki was in the wrong for adding herself into the conversation in the comments, therefore deflecting from the truth?
I think Nicki and Cardi need to stop subtweeting and at each other or go in the studio and rap this shit out over a record and then say each other names and then throw up personals and shit like real rappers. But y'all giving whack shit right now. And as far as I'm concerned, we all know that Nicki has had blogs in her pockets for years. We all know that. We remember what happened with T.S. Madison and Kaya, Tasha
Yep.
K.
Yep.
Like the shade
Mm.
room,
And the young
girl.
woman with Karen Civil. Didn't somebody get
Yes, she got somebody else fired. Yes. So Nikki always does this. So this is not surprising to me. I feel like, girl, go to hell. Eventually, them people get tired of that shit. They're not about to keep posting what you want them to post forever. Like it's just not gonna be like that. At some point, people gonna want to post whatever the fuck they want to post. And if you being messy and they a blog site, they gonna post that you being messy. Like I don't
Right.
know why you even get mad about it at this point. Like why you even get mad? I just feel like she is her inflated sense of self makes her feel like she can gangster everybody about everything.
Yes,
And it's
gangster
like,
everybody.
girl, like give it a fucking rest.
Yeah, I think it's crazy for celebrities to believe that they can write the narrative for what they can be talked, like how you're talked about. Um I feel like it's two very well-known things that's going on with these blogs. Either one, you're popular enough for the blogs to post stuff about you, or two, you're under contract with them. Like a lot of these influencers and rappers' girlfriends. And I don't understand why you would ever trip about the blogs posting about stuff that you're doing on the internet actively.
right. Right.
That reminds me, did y'all see that new show that's about to come out on BET Plus with Jada Waiter and Ari Fletcher and Tay
Yeah,
and
I don't
No,
know
somebody
the
else?
name, but yeah,
I don't even
they got a
know.
show coming out.
That made
Hmm.
me because that made me think about when Ari Fletcher was like, everything I say get make the blogs. I always go viral. And I be like, bitch, is it because you popping or because you paying? But
Cause
you
she
know,
paying. Yes.
exactly.
I seen a video of them talking about Fletcher this week, and it was like how Ari Fletcher explains how she became one of the most paid influencers or whatever. And I just thought it was hilarious because I have never known anyone to call her an influencer at all. I just remember one day going to sleep and waking up, and then the blogs will post her. And that's what I'm talking about. Like, I can't wait for a couple years from now for somebody to come up with a YouTube documentary from who works
Uh-huh.
for these blog websites, and
Mm-hmm.
they share the come ups and the schemes and the contracts that these people are under. Because a lot of these people we would never even think twice about, but it happened in, like, I swear it was like 2015, 2016. All these people start going under contract with the Shade Room, which low key, I feel like that's why the Shade Room ain't really popping like that no more, because a lot of their business start going towards paid posts. And when I say paid posts, I don't mean all the ones that just say hashtag ads. I mean the influencers that are paying them to be seen and the rappers that are paying them to be seen. And it's
Zeus
inauthentic.
Network that's paying them to be seen.
Oh,
Yes.
child, they definitely overpaying.
Girl,
Yep.
when I
Overpaying.
tell you I'm so tired of seeing Zeus Network shows on my fucking timeline, before I saw them on my timeline, I felt like nobody gave a fuck about Natalie and any other them washed up fighting
None.
assholes. Nobody cares.
None.
And they constantly post the shit on the timeline like people care. And I'm honestly wondering, do we really care or do we just watch them fight on the timeline and then scroll past?
And scroll past.
Mhm.
It's that part for me.
Because
And
I'm
scroll
just saying,
past.
I have not went to pay Zeus. I mean, I had them, but that last season of Jocelyn's Cabaret, I was like, I'm done, and so I
Yeah.
canceled the shit, and I'm not going back. I don't give a fuck what's going on
What
over
they
there.
got. I
Yeah,
agree. That's what I did after Bad Boys LA. I was done. Like now they're trying to do some other type of show where it sounds like they trying to have some type of, I feel like a housewives thing. I saw them put an ad
yeah.
out. I was like, ain't nobody. Y'all trying to do whatever y'all can to get the people to come back. And ain't nobody paying y'all no attention because we don't really care like that. Like we'll see everything online because that's where they're gonna put it anyway.
Understand what
But
she said. She said that she wasn't an influencer, meaning that usually influencers was doing shit in order to become influencers. These
Right.
girlfriends of rappers that we don't really care or know about all that much, like really the girlfriends become more famous is because their relationships are being put on the shade room. They'll bring them up and we'll be like, who the fuck is that?
Right. And the next thing you know, the blogs name them as influencers. It's not their
Yes,
actual influence. That's
exactly.
mm-hmm.
inauthentic.
Exactly.
Right. Like if I
Yep.
paid the Shade Room, they would pay to say that I was an influencer. That's because they named me one. I didn't create that. You know what I'm
Right.
like?
And
I'm
then
like,
you would then get the following by products of that. Not,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And anytime you continue to see something over and over again, or like even when you listen to a song the first time and you're not really fooling with it, you start to take a liking to it. So if that's something that you're gonna see in your phone that you scrolling 6 hours a day, of course that influence is going to be gained. So people don't want to think about that though. You don't want to think about that. So
But I feel
whatever.
like she could have started out as just the IG model. And then over time, she could have told them to start referencing her as an influencer to
Mm,
differentiate from the type of gigs or, advertisement placements, whatever it is to, get her money, make it a bit different. They may not pay an IG model as much because they say they're an IG model, but it may hit different when you add influencer because influencer is now being more well known and actually being considered a job. So
Right. It's
I
yeah.
the
think if she could have
term.
did that,
It
Yeah.
yeah,
was Instagram model before, like the Miracle Watts girls and stuff like that. They was
yeah,
Right.
Instagram models, but nobody called them influencers because it's like,
Right.
what are you influencing? That's
right.
the thing. And then somebody asked, Shy Saint says, y'all post YouTube videos on these peoples, and that's how we find y'all. So y'all don't consider yourselves an influencer that came up off these shows and people. I wouldn't call myself an influencer because I'm not influencing y'all to watch the shows. Y'all already watch the shows. Now, if I was pushing product and influence y'all to buy certain product, then I would be called an influencer. But because the premise of my channel is reviewing stuff that already happened and stuff that y'all are already accessing, that's not an influencer. It's not an influencer. I'm a reviewer. I'm a commentator.
Right. I call myself a content creator because I create content. Um, and the thing that people don't understand, and that comment kind of annoys me slightly because I feel like it's shade. Like people wouldn't be watching us if these people weren't doing the things that they're doing. when essentially I've been doing this for a very long time, and I was doing this before any of these people were anything. People, even if it wasn't that many people, even if it wasn't as many people as it is now, or that it eventually will be, people were watching me before Ari Fletcher was a Ari Fletcher. So not exactly, but I understand where you're coming from.
And there's that. All right. Anything else on these topics? Influencers and Nicki Minaj, blogs that they want to
Yeah,
talk?
I appreciate everybody that make their money and it work for them. So it ain't no shade, but understand that some of you guys are seeing people and liking them because somebody paid them to put them in front of you over and over and over and over again.
Yeah. Hmm.
Agree.
Yeah, I don't think people understand algorithms either. The stuff that we see on the internet, none of it is organic anymore.
No.
There's algorithms. People don't understand that.
But Nikki definitely don't understand that. She felt like everybody was up against her because they was restricting her video and it's
Right.
labels and record. And I'm like, girl, that's what YouTube be doing over here, girl.
You ain't
They will
know.
Hmm.
restrict your shit quick as hell and have to sit up there and wait a day or two or a week just to get it cleared. So it's not just
Hmm,
that
I
they're
like
doing
that
this to
name.
you, they're doing it to everybody. Even YouTubers that's been on this platform way longer have millions of subscribers have had to come out and speak out against, how YouTube be out here carrying in these streets. So it's not
Yeah.
just the we coming against you, Nikki thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, thanks ladies for handling that question. I was trying to decipher whether or not it was shade or not. I was like, girl, I was reading. I was like, where is that shade? You know what I'm saying? Like,
That's what it
what?
felt like to me. I mean, I could be wrong, but
Wait, what part was Shay?
You know what I'm saying?
listen, the part that basically was saying, "Well, y'all make money talking about these
So
Oh,
y'all
people."
this
don't think
part.
y'all come up off these shows and people? I feel
Yeah,
like
Oh,
it's a
came
it's
up.
a it's a mutual thing because what a lot of people don't know is sometimes these producers reach out to YouTubers to have them to even discuss the show. So I feel like it's a
See, that's
mutual
another
thing
part.
in order to barter the views, the subscribers that you already have. They try to get that too to get people to buy into their show as well. So I feel like if that's the case, then it's like a mutual thing. They come up off of the YouTubers and their subscribers and vice versa, if that's what you want to say. But I agree to Nisi's point. We're not an influencer. Bonnie considers herself a content creator, and I consider myself a commentator. I give you
Yeah.
my thoughts and opinion on these shows and these people, and that's just that. They enjoy it.
Yeah. People start misconstruing what the word influencer actually means. Um, just because everybody's using that term. It just comes from the base of the word influence.
Right.